Hello everyone. Welcome to our last Tuesday's Tapping at 2 session. I'm Tamira Thayne, founder of Who Chains You Publishing and the author of Foster Doggy Insanity and Capital in Chains. Well, today we are going to finish up by talking about who chains us as activists. And I wore my prison shirt just to get in the theme of the day. But when we try to work on the behalf of animals, not only do we hold ourselves back with our own insecurities, issues, but there are people on the outside that chain us from doing more for the animals. And that's what I thought we would tap on today to finish up our 10-week session. I don't know how much good I did. If I reached even one person, then it was worth it for me. So these will continue to be live on our website and on my YouTube channel at TAMMYDDB, and you can watch them anytime that you need some help and some inspiration. So let's work on today. Who does chain you? Who stops you from making your best strides for the animals? I think as humans, what we most strive to live by is the adage to do no harm. If we do no harm, and I know that we can't do that 100%, but the less harm we do in our world, the better off our world will be. So as much as our leaders today are not taking that adage into consideration, that's what we should all be living by. So as animal activists, we all use this do not harm every day to do the least harm that we can, not only to our fellow man, but to the animals who call this planet home as well. So let's talk a little bit about animal campaigns and the adversaries that we have in these campaigns. Every animal campaign you do will have adversaries, even as much as you can't believe it. Like dog chaining should be a no-brainer, but there are adversaries everywhere. So some of the adversaries that you will look at are dog chainers, food producers, people who use animals for food are always going to be your adversaries. Animal consumers, people who eat animals for food, do not want any part of what you're telling them. And the pet animal mills, puppy mills, cat mills, bird mills, there's mills for practically any pet that you see out there where animals live in deplorable conditions. So these are just some of the adversaries that we come up against when we try to work for the animals. And there's also legislative efforts are stymied constantly. It's very, very hard to get legislation passed, and that doesn't mean we shouldn't do it. People are constantly trying to get laws, but it's very disheartening when we don't get better laws. And then the laws that we do have are not adequately enforced, so law enforcement often plays a role in this. Laws typically favor all of these adversaries over the animal activists, and the hard truth is that suffering animals, helping a suffering animal often ends in arrest for the human being who has a heart and can't stand to watch that. So there's a lot of pain involved in just being an animal advocate, just being someone who cares about the animals and who wants to do better for the animals. So we're going to do a little bit of tapping on that today for our last week, and then we will bring in some positive. And my homework for you as an activist is to do tapping every day. You can do it while you're driving, you can do it while you're taking a walk, you can do it while you're watching TV, even if you're just desperate for a little downtime, because it releases some negative from your body. And as animal activists, like most people, but we have it even greater, we're constantly getting bombarded all day long with negative feelings in us and negative things happening to the animals. So we end up full of negativity whether we want to be or not. So it's important that we tap to release some of this and then bring the positive. So what I want you to do, your homework for the rest of your life, is to tap every day, and then the rest of the day, as much as you can, continue to open your heart and allow good things in all day long, because you want a lot more positive in your life than negative, but you still got to release some of that negative. I'm an adamant believer in that. Okay, so tapping, once again, real quick, is tapping on meridians of the body where pain is stored up. So we will tap on these points, the collarbone and under the armpits, to release some pain, and then we will work on bringing positive in. Okay, So let's work on the first one, okay? First, we do it on the edge of our hand here. So even though I'm afraid to stand up for the animals that I will be attacked, I deeply love and accept myself. Even though I'm very afraid to stand up for the animals because I'll be attacked, I deeply love and accept myself. Even though I'm afraid to stand up for the animals because I'll be attacked, I deeply love and accept myself. I'm afraid to stand up for the animals because I'll be attacked. I'm afraid to stand up for the animals because I'll be attacked. I'm afraid to stand up for the animals because I'll be attacked. I'm afraid to stand up for the animals because I'll be attacked. I'm afraid to stand up for the animals because I'll be attacked. I'm afraid to stand up for the animals because I'll be attacked. I'm afraid to stand up for the animals because I'll be attacked. I'm afraid to stand up for the animals because I'll be attacked. And another common fear that we have, people chaining us as activists, is the fear of being arrested. I myself was arrested at least 5 times on behalf of the animals when I was very active, so it happens a lot, and it's very painful, and there's a lot to deal with. So it makes people afraid to get out there and really advocate for the animals. So even though I have a fear of being arrested if I stand up for the animals, I deeply love and accept myself. Even though I have a fear of being arrested if I stand up for the animals, I deeply love and accept myself. Even though I have a fear of being arrested if I stand up for the animals, I deeply love and accept myself. When you are releasing negative, a lot of times your body takes very deep breaths and helps you release that. So if you're taking a deep breath, let it go. Just let that out, and it feels wonderful. I have a great fear of being arrested if I help the animals. I have a great fear of being arrested if I help the animals. I have a great fear of being arrested if I help the animals. I have a great fear of being arrested if I help the animals. I have a great fear of being arrested if I help the animals. I have a great fear of being arrested if I help the animals. I have a great fear of being arrested if I help the animals. I have a great fear of being arrested if I help the animals. And then we have a lot of anger that laws do not protect the animals. So we carry this anger inside of us, and it's so debilitating to us. So let's try to release some of that anger. Even though I feel angry that laws don't protect the animals, I deeply love and accept myself. Even though I feel angry that laws do not protect the animals, I deeply love and accept myself. Even though I feel angry that laws do not protect the animals, I deeply love and accept myself. I feel angry that the laws do not protect the animals. I feel angry that the laws do not protect the animals. I feel angry that the laws do not protect the animals. I feel angry that the laws do not protect the animals. I feel angry that the laws do not protect the animals. I feel angry that the laws do not protect the animals. I feel angry that the laws do not protect the animals. I feel angry that the laws do not protect the animals. Okay, and let's talk about some frustrations. The frustrations abound. Wanting people to foster dogs and they don't step up to foster. People saying that they love animals and yet they continue to eat them. So there's so much frustration involved in animal activism. So even though I feel so frustrated when I work on behalf of the animals, I deeply love and accept myself. Even though I feel so frustrated when I work on behalf of the animals, I deeply love and accept myself. Even though I feel so frustrated when I work on behalf of the animals, I deeply love and accept myself. I feel so frustrated when I work on behalf of the animals. I feel so frustrated when I work on behalf of the animals. I feel so frustrated when I work on behalf of the animals. I feel so frustrated when I work on behalf of the animals. I feel so frustrated when I work on behalf of the animals. I feel so frustrated when I work on behalf of the animals. I feel so frustrated when I work on behalf of the animals. I feel so frustrated when I work on behalf of the animals. And then let's talk about a big fear that we all have, and that's the fear of failure. We can be very afraid that even though we try our best, we will fail in helping the animals. And that's a big stumbling block to overcome. So if you get more into tapping, you can go back and work on some of the childhood issues that kind of bring up these feelings of worthlessness and fear of failure, and it helps you face failure better. Even though it's never fun for anybody, but I happen to consider myself a huge failure most of the time, and it's kind of liberating, because if you're okay with failing and you expect it, then you can go ahead and do something anyway, and then you do find your successes that way. So even though I have fear of failing, if I help the animals, I deeply love and accept myself. Even though I have a great fear of failing, if I help the animals, I deeply love and accept myself. Even though I have a great fear of failing, if I help the animals, I deeply love and accept myself. I have a great fear of failing if I help the animals. I have a great fear of failing if I help the animals. I have a great fear of failing if I help the animals. I have a great fear of failing if I help the animals. I have a great fear of failing if I help the animals. I have a great fear of failing if I help the animals. I have a great fear of failing if I help the animals. I have a great fear of failing if I help the animals. Okay, so that was just a start. I mean, you can do this every day. You can do it for an hour a day. You can do it for 5 minutes a day. You will find, I pretty much guarantee you, if you tap every day, you will feel better and you will make more of a difference for the animals and in your own life. So after we get some of that negative out, then we want to bring in some positive. I always recommend whatever, if you like to pray, you like to meditate, definitely do those things. I definitely recommend a gratitude list every day, and that would go something like, I'm very grateful for such a beautiful day today because I can be outside and enjoy the fresh air. So list 10 things a day that you're grateful for, and then open your heart. And this is what I say over and over, but you can feel it when your heart is open, and it's the most important thing you can ever do to change your life, is to open your heart and allow good things in, because we all tend to shut down. We're afraid. We are afraid of being hurt again, so we shut down and we go inward. But if you open your heart and you expand it and you allow the good things to come into your life, they will come, and I promise you that. So let's just do this now. Think of something that was maybe the happiest moment of your life. For me, let me think about cuddling my cat Tuna. He slept on my head all night last night, and it's just it's a joyous thing, and he's getting older, so I try to treasure every second of him sleeping on my head and snuggling into his little neck. So that brings me happiness and helps me open my heart, and then I can just release and open myself to all the good from the universe. And I hope that you can do that too. I've enjoyed these 10 weeks with you. I hope that I can help some people. They will stay on the site. You can always have access to them if you really need to get into tapping. The founder of Tapping has a free website where you can learn so much more than what I've taught. It's called emofree.com. And I'm excited about our latest book, The Listener's Tale, from Laura Corber. This just came out last week, and it's about a girl who finds herself in a vegetarian society in a different world. So it's for 10 years old and up, so it's young, but I enjoyed it. Anna didn't even know she had an aunt. Aunt Maura had appeared the day after Anna's parents died in a car crash, a tall gray figure through the screen door, silhouetted against the bright sun. The neighbors welcomed her. They were relieved to get Anna off their hands and into the custody of a relative. But Anna hadn't warmed to her aunt or her pug, whose eyes eerily tracked Anna's every move. Something wasn't right. Her investigation leads to a world she's never seen, and even more relatives who live in a quirky village, a village where singers dance in the sky, the elders are hundreds of years old, and everyone has access to magic. That sounds like a place I'd like to live. At first bemused, then charmed, Anna settles in to live with her newfound relatives and unravel the mystery of who is trying to kill her. The Listener's Tale is a charming fantasy for young teen readers or the young at heart. So you can pick yours up today on our website at whochainsyou.com. We have links to Amazon, Kindle, or our Create Space site. So thank you. Have a great week, and thank you for joining me.